Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Stupid Gun Myths. I'm Mike B, coming at you from Mommy's basement with another video that was brought up to me, I think on episode 2. And there was a commenter who I believe is from the UK who was saying that there was a myth floating around in the 80s or 70s or whenever the Brits were using the L1A1, the inch pattern version of the FAL. This is just an imbel kit built on a Kunan inch receiver. It's not an L1A1 configuration, but it'll have to do for representation. Anyway, the myth was that during the Cold War especially, there was this stupid, really ridiculous myth going around that because the L1A1 fired a 7.62 millimeter, and so did the Russian or Soviet AK-47, that they both fired the 7.62 millimeter so that rounds from the L1A1 could be fired out of the AK. Basically, they could use our rounds, but we couldn't use their ammo. Yeah, okay. Well, there's a couple things wrong with that. First of all, if somebody says that to you, assume they know absolutely fucking nothing about weapons and they're just going based on what they heard from somebody. I don't know if this was like a myth that started as a joke, kind of like the you eat so many spiders a year just to see how fast it would spread, or if some people actually believe this. But since I've had it brought up by U.S. service members in the first Gulf War, oh yeah, we used to fire Russian 7.62 out of our M60s. I'm like, no, you fucking didn't. And here's why. Is because when you say 7.62, that's one part of the actual round itself, one part of the actual cartridge. That is the bullet diameter, or roughly. A lot of things there's little variables, but I'm going to try to keep it simple. It's roughly 7.62 millimeters, roughly a 30 caliber or 0.3 inch cartridge, or diameter, bullet diameter. And the cartridge length, or the brass part of the cartridge, is measured in the next part of it, which there's an X, which stands for by. It's a 7.62 by, and this is a 7.62 by 63 millimeters. So that means that the length from the base of the case right here, not the actual rim, but the base of the case to the top of the brass case is 63 millimeters in length. Now, it's a 7.62 millimeter bullet, 308 actually. Oops, sorry, I hit the camera thing. 308 to be specific. Oh wait, no, here's a 308. Or so we commonly call it. Of course I'm going to drop shit. So these both fire the same weight and diameter bullet, but obviously you can see the case length is very different and the case shape is very different. So on the right, we've got the 7.62 by 51 millimeter NATO, which is, oddly enough, what the L1A1 or FAL fires, right? And then on the left, you've got the 7.62 by 63 millimeter, which is commonly known as the 30-06, which not pictured anything that can handle this. Do you think these are going to fire out of the opposite chamber? No, they're not going to. Now, to get even more cool, this is what the AK-47 or AKM fires, the 7.62 by 39 millimeter cartridge. Different case shape, different case length, actual different bullet diameter. It says 7.62, but it's actually a 311 diameter bullet instead of a 308. Some ammo is actually 312 diameter, but mainly 311 is what the AK-47 or the 7.62 by 39 M43 cartridge was designed to be. Now, we'll go one step further by saying 7.62. Wow, we've got a 7.62 by 25 millimeter cartridge right there. Now, if you think all these are interchangeable, you probably shouldn't be messing around with firearms before you get somebody that actually has more than 2 flickering brain cells coaching you on how to be safe with firearms. But hey, who the fuck am I, right? Anyway, this myth is absolutely asinine and ridiculous, and I'll tell you why. If you haven't figured it out already, I'm going to have to explain it and just keep the video going because I like talking, like hearing my own voice because it echoes quite well in Mommy's basement. So, yeah, I'll put these up here so you can see them. And if you don't believe me, I'm going to actually go ahead and try chambering these rounds in the opposite weapon, right? Just for the sake of it. Just to prove to you. So, the myth was that, the Russian guns that shoot 7.62 could shoot our ammo, but we could not shoot theirs. Okay, shit snap. Let's try that out. So I'm going to actually pull the charging handle of the AK-47 or AKM back. It's actually a semi-automatic sporting rifle. Oh shit, look at that. It won't even fit in the fucking chamber. It won't even get that far in, right? It won't even seat. It won't even do that. So I'm not going to rack the bolt forward because I know. I'll let it go forward a little bit. And look at that. The bolt won't even pick it up. It's the case and the rim are way too big. So I'm sorry, that myth is fucking DOA. gone, busted. All right, so what about the opposite way? What about the opposite? It's the bolt hold open feature. What about the opposite? Can a 7.62 by 39 millimeter, aka the smaller cartridge, be chambered and fired out of the FAL? Well, let's see. Oh, look at that. It falls down into the chamber. The bolt's not even going to make contact with it. The magazines. Bolt's not even going to make contact with it, so how the hell is the firing pin going to hit it? And if it does, if you rock this back and it does hit it, you're going to have a catastrophic malfunction, aka explosion, happen in the chamber because there's so much pressure that's going to be released in that little area because there's no material in the cartridge to actually seal the chamber, which is why you should fire the correct cartridges out of your correct rifles. If your rifle says 7.62 millimeter, it was probably built by somebody in Afghanistan in the Khyber Pass that doesn't know what the hell they're doing and was trying to make monies off of GIs that were buying these things. I'm just using that as an example. If it says, Cal 308, okay, I get that. But again, I don't really like that. See, in America, or in the United States, that 308 means 308 7.62 by 5.1, that kind of cartridge, right? Because it's a hunting cartridge. But again, these three cartridges, sorry, not in the frame. These three cartridges here, not the 7.6239, are all 308 diameter bullets. So that's why I like the metric system better. But yeah, so you cannot, they're not interchangeable. Cartridges are not interchangeable, period. You can't shoot 223 or 5.56 out of an AK unless it's chambered for 5.56. You cannot shoot a 7.6239 out of an AR-15 that's chambered in 5.56 because they're not the same caliber. It's not the cartridge that the rifle was designed for. So no, this interchangeability, oddly enough, kind of stems from this cartridge right here that was copied off of the German 7.63 by 25 millimeter Mauser cartridge for the C96. The Soviets decided to neck down a little bit, make it a 308 bullet instead of a 7.65, which is like a 32 caliber bullet, but it's actually about a 312 or something like that if you really get into it. That's where that stupid myth comes from, because you can fire 7.63 Mauser out of a Tokarev because it's a lower powered cartridge and they're relatively the same size. I'll make a video on that next year, or maybe even during the winter, to kind of show you guys it works to an extent, but it really isn't ideal. But the 7.62 by 2.5 could not have been fired out of the C96 because it was loaded for a higher pressure. It's not because they were totally different in size. They were loaded for a higher pressure. So that's another thing you got to consider, is what can your weapon take? Like, obviously, a 7.6251 is going to have a significantly higher pressure level than a 7.62 by 39, simply based on the amount of powder that it can hold. So, anyway, I don't know how else to explain this. No, that's a bullshit, stupid fucking myth. And I'm not ragging on you, whoever commented. That's good that you brought this up, because I remember hearing this. I was at a bar several years ago, and this guy, he's in Desert Storm, he's like, oh, we used to fire the Russian 7.62 ammo at ours, so we had unlimited ammo. And I was like, you are so full of shit, your eyes are brown. Like, there's no way. And obviously, you just saw that. M60, if you didn't know, fires the 7.6251, which doesn't even fit in the AK, and this just falls down the tube and would cause a catastrophic failure if actually somehow it went off. So, there. Hope you learned something. Thanks to, I can't remember your name, that's why I keep calling you. You know who you are, though. Thanks for commenting on that. I love busting these fucking myths with proof. And of course, people are going to still be like, well, in this instance, I heard about, and that's the whole thing about these myths. Like, people, either you understand that it's busted, or you have cognitive dissonance when the shit's put right in front of you and it doesn't matter to you. But hey, I still get views from it, so thanks for watching. Anyway, yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. I do appreciate it. I like this series, and apparently so do you, so I'm hoping to keep it going. Let me know if you got any really good gun myths that you heard and you know are bullshit, and I can try to disprove them. I like having physical props to disprove gun myths. It helps me actually demonstrate and show you that, no, this shit's not possible. So what makes that possible is actually supporting me on Patreon. I really can't afford to be funding my channel totally out of pocket anymore after doing it for 6 years. So Patreon has really been helping lately. Got a lot of supporters on there. It's $1 a month, buys you in. Post exclusive content on there. It helps me get props like this, different ammo. We're gonna go out and make shooting videos, do gear reviews, etc., etc. So anyway, consider supporting me on there. Link is in the description. $5 a month or more level gets you access to my Discord server, which I'm on pretty regularly. So if not, I appreciate you watching. Let me know what you think, and we'll see you on the next episode of Stupid Gun Myths.